Hare Srinivasa. Prasanna Varadam Dhyayet Prasanna Gunapuranam Prasanna Venkatam Vande Guru Bhavam Padashraye. We bow down to Sri Prasanna Venkatadasaru, who is the author of this work NarayanaPanjara, which we are right now studying. So the contemplation on these verses is sure to transform a mind from a state of anxiety and worry towards a state of calmness and surrender, which keeps ourselves like we can be at the maximum potential. What is our potential? We can work at that potential only if our mind is calm and at peace. If it is totally agitated, then what we can normally do well also we do not do. We get frazzled with all the worries and anxieties, and we are not able to complete our duties to perfection. So there are many reasons why we need to keep ourselves calm, and the Narayana Panjara is one such work which can transform our mind to a state of calmness from wherever it was. Now we look at the third verse of the Narayana Panjara. ಶೂಲಿಯನು ಬೆಂಬತ್ತಿ ಸುಡುವೇನೆಂಬನ ಸುಟ್ಟೆ ನಾರಾಯಣಾಯ ನಮೋ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಶೀಲವಿಡಿದಂಬರೀಶನ ಮತವ ಗೆಲ್ಲಿಸಿದೆಯೋ ನಾರಾಯಣಾಯ ನಮೋ ನಾರಾಯಣ. Narayanaaya Namo, Narayanaya Namo is the chorus that we hear again and again. So that let it reverberate in our minds continuously throughout the day. And this Narayana Shabda is one which can take a soul who is suffering in Naraka also away from that place to a place of bliss. Such is the name, such is the glory of that Narayana Nama. So Narayana Nama is told 6 times, and there are many reasons for that. Why in the Pallavi Narayana has been told 6 times. So we saw one of the reasons. He is called as Vashatkara. Means he does 6 things to the Jiva. He is the caretaker of the Jiva in 6 ways. So what are the 6 ways if we think about it? We saw last time that Arishad Vargas can be overcome through the chanting of Narayana Nama with the Anusandhana that he is the master, that he is the source of everything that goes on in our mind and body, is the source of the strength and power of the entire world. So thinking in this manner, we move along with that. Why is Narayana Shabda occurring 6 times? So in that case, he's saying you don't have any much resort other than Narayana because he is Vashatkara. So whom do we resort to? Whom we believe, who has the power to put us into the birth or to remove us from that place also? That is what is described by the Shabda Vashatkara. Vishnu Sahasranama has this name, and the Vyakyanakaras have described many reasons for it. One is that he is Shadguna Aishwarya Purna. And such a Shadguna Aishwarya Purna only can control the Jiva's 6 states. So the 6 states of the Jiva in this samsara, if you take it, like birth is one, Jayate is one. Then slowly that Jiva grows, Vardate. Then he starts or she starts thinking, I am existing. So that is Asti. 3 things are over now. Then after that, what happens? He starts Viparinamate. He changes from what he was or what she was at childhood. It changes through adulthood into old age. Then Apakshiyate. Then they start losing whatever power they had during youth and middle age. They start losing it in the old age. They are not able to stand, walk, do what things they were doing very easily. They feel very stressed even to go out of the house alone, all these. And then the last stage is Niyate, where they leave the body and move on. So this kind of 6 steps through which Jiva goes through is all caused by that Vishnu, it says. Vishnu Sahasranama is the compendium of all the 1,000 names of God, which describe more than 100,000 gunas of his. Acharya Madhva has said that each and every name of the Vishnu Sahasranama talks about the at least a minimum of 100 gunas of God. So the Anusandhana or the thought process that is required to go into those gunas is very much deep. But let us look at 1 or 2. When we touch the Vishnu Sahasranama and see Vashatkara is one who has Chadguna Aishwarya Purna, who has the mastery and the power and the valor to control, as well as he has the knowledge and the Tejas Shakti to do the work, what has to be done. He makes the jivas to do it. So such is the power of that master who can control the jivas every state of the jiva, starting from birth to death, is under his control. And he has also said kshetram iti kshetrajnam iti abhidiyate anta. My name is Kshetrajnaha, means I am the controller of this kshetra, which is your body. Kshetra means body, he says. Sharira is kshetra. So in this kshetra, I am the controller, he has told, and I know everything about this. What has to be done, what will be done, what will be not done. So such a master is whom we have to surrender to. So now, when we finished the first and second charanas, we again repeated Narayana Namo 6 times. And when we thought about it, we think about it, oh Master, you are the one who has brought me into this birth. You are the one who gave me the existence and the feeling that this is me. And I have to do this and I have to do that. And what I have known, all these things are due to you. And whatever changes that may come in the beginning and the end are all due to your will, and the end also is due to you. Such a feeling of surrender we will get when we think about this in this way. Now, who did this kind of surrender to Narayana? That time they are talking about the great deity called Shiva. Shiva is one who holds the Shula, the Trishula. So here he is referred to by Dasaru as Shuli. What did Shuli do? At one time, there was one Rakshasa by name Vrikasura. The Vrikasura was doing a lot of penance to please Shiva because he wanted to become immortal. The question of immortality does not arise with the Pancha Bhautika or the five, any Sharira which is composed of the Trigunas or the Stula Sharira which is composed of the five aspects of mud and water and other stuff. So but he was not willing to accept that. He wanted to become immortal. He said, in this body, I have to remain forever. And so he did the penance. He obtained the grace of Shiva, in the sense Shiva appeared before him. Then he asked him, what do you want? Then he said, I want to be immortal. But Shiva said that that is a boon which I don't think I can give it to you. You ask me something else. So then he asks him to give him one boon, so that he can use his hand to place it on something and make it into ashes. That means the power of the fire should be in my hand, he says. And whomever I place it on, they should turn into ashes. If I place it on anything, it should turn it into ashes. This was his boon. So he asked for it, and then Shiva granted it because he was pleased with the tapas. Then finally, when he, as his buddhi, I mean, his tamasic, he wanted to destroy. I mean, his boon was only a destruction boon. And with that intention, he came forward to put his hand on Shiva's head. Imagine the kind of mentality he is having. The person or the deity to whom who he has worshipped, through whom he has obtained the boon, he wants to see the end of him. He tried to place the palm on Shiva's head itself. Then Shiva had to be rescued by Vishnu. Vishnu appeared as Mohini and he led the dance, which was followed by Vrikasura. And then Vrikasura was directed by Mohini to place on his own head, by which he himself turned to ashes and thus Shiva was relieved of this burden of being caught in his own boon. So we see that story as the highest of the high deities, whoever they may be. They also resort to Narayana when they don't have any other means. They have no means, is their knowledge so high that they will always be aware of that. Shiva being the Mano Bhimani according to the Madhva system, he controls the minds of everyone. So whatever happens is by the will of God to show the posterity to know how they have to move. So when Shiva was saved by Narayana in this manner, we have to surrender to that Narayana who saved even the Manobhimani Shiva. So here we have to pray to Narayana saying that you are the you are the most independent person. So the independence of Narayana is one of his vibhuti, one of his attributes, auspicious attributes. Narayana means innumerable or infinite auspicious attributes. Among them, one is this, that is supreme mastery over everything. So when a boon has been given, he is compassionate in the sense he wanted the boon to be acknowledged. So Shiva's boon was acknowledged by by a very very clever and nice method, where the person who was trying to misuse the boon itself had to give himself up for the same boon. So that is the intelligence, that is the mastery, and that is the power of Vishnu. So now after we think about those things, we feel glad that Narayana, even if our own doing is we only have done something and because of that we are getting caught into a web, but Narayana is there to extricate us if we have done something, and that's how we usually get caught during our travels through the different bodies. We have done lot of karma, and these karmas are the ones which push us into situations where we have to suffer, where we have to experience different kinds of emotions which are not favorable to us. So even those, when we surrender to Paramatma, then he moves our mind in such a way that we do not have to go through with that suffering. Instead, we have a new light thrown on it. Next they have the story of Ambarisha. Sheila Vidida Ambarishana, because Ambarisha was the son of Nabhaga, a rishi. He was king, and he was very much devoted to the Lord. In that devotion, he used to be like everything above. I mean, there was nothing that was above the bhakti or devotion to Narayana. Whatever he had, he always remembered that it was the gift of Narayana. That is his wealth, his kingdom, his queen, his princesses and all his children, his army, his everything, whatever he had, he used to contemplate on them as the gifts of Narayana. And of course, about his body and indriyas and mind also, he used to think of it in the same manner. This is something like the embodiment of the bhakta or the devotional person whom Krishna also glorifies in the Bhagavad Gita. He says that a person who can be nirmamo nirankaraha. So nirmamo means nothing is mine, everything is Paramatma's. And egoism, that I have this power, I am the owner of this, is mama. I have this and I am the master, is ahankara. So a person who does not have both of these is definitely my devotee, is what Krishna says. And that is the personification. You can see it in Ambarisha. That's why Dasaru says, Sheila Vidida Ambarishana. Sheila means who has taken up the vow of surrender to God, who have taken up the vow of complete discipline when it comes to his thoughts and deeds as worship of Paramatma. So what happened? The story of Ambarisha. Once when Ambarisha was in such a devoted state, he was always doing. He decided to do the vrata of Ekadashi, and during the last Kartika Masa, when the Ekadashi came, he was also in the same mode, doing the Dashami as one meal, then Ekadashi completely without water and anything else, and also on the Dwadashi early morning he was performing the worship of Paramatma, and then he has to have the Parana. At that time when he was just finishing the puja, at that time when he was finishing the puja, the people announced the arrival of a rishi, and that rishi was, his name was Durvasa. So Durvasa appeared there, and then he came, and as usual was the custom, the king was supposed to entertain or pay respects to the rishi. So he invited the rishi to partake the prasadam with him. But the rishi wouldn't. He said that I have to still go to the river, complete my ablutions and my daily worship, and then I will be back for the meal. So he went away. Then when he went back, and we without any knowledge, like how long is he going to take to come back? And this Ekadashi Vrata was just going to be like, if he did not partake of the food within another half a galige, means 24 minutes, he would be considered to be have left the vrata. So what would he do? He was thinking. Then his preceptors has advised him to take the tirtha. They told him, if you take the tirtha, it is like being on the fast. At the same time, it is like you have broken the fast. So he took the tirtha and he waited for the rishi to come. Then the rishi returned back. He came back after he finished everything and he was ready to have the Parane. Then he saw that Ambarisha had already taken the tirtha and he was very, very angry. He was very wild. He said that, how could you take the tirtha without my presence? So that is a very insulting to me. I am the senior rishi and you have done this to me. So he was very angry and he created one fierce monster which could come and disturb Ambarisha's life itself. He sent the monster towards Ambarish. But actually, since Ambarisha was so devoted to Paramatma, he had already been given the Sudarshana Chakra of Paramatma to keep him protected. So when this monster started coming towards Ambarisha, the chakra automatically started revolving and it went and attacked the monster. It killed the monster on the spot and started going behind the Durvasa. Then Durvasa started running. He ran and he ran. And wherever he went, the chakra came behind him. He tried to seek the shelter at Brahma's feet and then he tried at Rudra's feet. Finally, he went to Vishnu's place and then he begged him to take care of him. Then Vishnu said to him that I can only give you one idea. So he says, Aham Aham Bhakta Paradino Hi Aswatantra Iva Dvija Sadhubir Grasta Krudayo Bhaktair Bhakta Jana Priya. I am so I just love my devotees a lot. Those who are really true to their, what they have in their minds about me, if they are very, very true about it, then I really love them a lot. I just give everything up for them. I'm almost like dependent. I am not at all independent, he says. Once I have given the grace to my devotee, then I do not take it away from them. So I will not be able to do anything for you. So he say, that Ambarisha is there, no? What kind of devotee is he? He is Yedara Gara Putradin Pranan Vittam Idam Param Hitva Mam Sharanam Katam Tam Tyaktam Utsuhe. How do you think I'm going to leave him? He is the one who has left everything for me. So he's saying that Ye Dhara, who has surrendered that everything is mine, including his family, his members of the family, like the wife, the children, the son, everyone. Then his own prana and all his wealth and kingdom, everything he has surrendered to me. I will not be able to help you. I have to always be on the side of such a devotee of mine. But I can tell you one solution for your problem, he says. So as it is, you can see that Durvasa has come and done Sharanagati to Vishnu, and Vishnu is one who will never forsake a devotee who has done the Sharanagati. So here he does not give up Ambarisha's Ambarisha's side, or rather the way that whatever Ambarisha has done is perfectly right, and that's what he has to do. So he does not, on the other hand, want to abandon Durvasa who has come seeking his protection. So he tells him, Upayam katayishyami tava vipra shrunushva tat. Ayam hi atma vicharaste yatastam vaibhavan. He's telling you better, I will give you one upaya, one solution to your problem. You go towards the devotee, go to Ambarisha himself. He is the one who can uplift you from this situation, he says. So Durvasa goes back running towards Ambarisha itself, And Ambarisha, with folded hands, welcomes Durvasa, knowing his place as the preceptor. And he calls back, or he requests the Sudarshana Chakra to come back to its place and to leave the pursuit of Durvasa. So, such is the beautiful story of Ambarisha's great devotion, which was acknowledged by Vishnu in such a manner. He was not ready to take back that chakra, even though it was troubling Durvasa, who is another who is the avatar of Shiva himself. But Paramatma, on the other hand, shows the compassion on both of them. He decides to keep up the vow of Ambarisha, decides to he decides to you know mm, accept that what Ambarisha has done is perfectly right, and he should not be given any kind of you know he should his devotion should not be let down, which would be the case if Ambarisha were to be told to take back the Sudarshana by the instructions of Vishnu, or Vishnu himself snatches away the Sudarshana. He did not do any of these things. Instead, he told Durvasa, you better go to my devotee itself and seek the succor. So, the beautiful way in which Narayana handles both the devotees is seen here. And also his complete feeling of love towards the devotee is also seen here. He doesn't need anything. That is the thing which Narayana says. Narayana Shabda itself tells that he is completely full of auspicious attributes. So if he is full of auspiciousness, then why does he need any other? He doesn't need anyone's love or anyone's gift or anyone's anything. But he does take it from others because they will be pleased by it. When Ambarisha is surrendering to Narayana, Ambarisha's surrender is required by Ambarisha more than by Narayana. Narayana doesn't need. Swaprayojana Rahita Sakaleshta Pradayaka Sarvaguna Paripurna is what Jagannath Dasru tells in one of his padyas in the Harikatamrita Sara. So Swaprayojana Rahita means he has no prayojana for himself, no anything for whatever he does. It is for the sake of his devotees. That is what is told. So now we have seen the third one. We go to the fourth charana. It says, Makara Rupadi Satyavratage Tatvavanu Orede Narayanaya Namo Narayana Mukadi Shruti Pidi Tando Varijasana Gitte Narayanaya Namo Narayana. So here we have the Matsyavatara. Paramatma took the Matsyavatara, and when there was the Vaivasvata Manu, Ashraddha Deva was supposed to climb onto one big boat, and on that boat there was he was asked to keep all the species of animals, and he did so. After that, Matsya was the one who was carrying the boat, or he was rather keeping himself inside that boat itself as a he was the one who was protecting all these animals and the human beings there from the uh, hurling waves of the sea during the pralaya, Manvantara pralaya. So at that time, when there was a lot of time, long time of duration during which the pralaya is taking place, that is even Manvantara pralaya takes place, and at that time, Matsya Rupa Paramatma was giving the Upadesha to Shraddha Deva, who was going to be the next Manu in Vaivasvata Manvantara. So he was given the knowledge, at the same time he was protected. That is Matsya. And the same Matsya, what did he do? He when Brahma was praying to Vishnu about the loss of the Vedas. The Vedas were stolen by an Asura called Hayagriva Asura. He was taking them away under the sea, and he did not want to give it back to Brahma. So what is the stealing of the Vedas? What does it mean? So Acharya, Govinda Acharya, Pandit Acharya always says that the stealing of the Vedas means stealing of the Tattva Abhimani Devatas of the Vedas, who are of the Kedar, means they take care of the Vedas in the sense that what is the meaning of the Veda and how it should be intuitively understood by a certain person. All these are under the control. Just as when we go to the library, we need to get the book stamped on by the librarian, and then that book can be given to you to read. And the same time, when you are going to read, you need to have the eligibility to read. You cannot read a Chinese book or a Malay book if you are not knowing that language. So when you have an eligibility to do something, then and you take the permission and do it, that time you can actually understand that particular text. So when the Vedabhimani Devatas are there in the Aksharas and they open up to the person who's reading them, they will be able to understand it. That's how Vedas are not interpreted the same way by everyone. Different people view it differently because the way they have to understand is they understand is because of their background and their knowledge and their innate essence. So these the devatas were taken away or kidnapped by this Hayagriva Asura, and Matsyarupi Paramatma, he went through the seas and he destroyed the Asura and brought back the Vedas, and he gave it to Brahma. That is what she said. Pididu Tanda Varijasana Kitta. Varijasana is Brahma who sits on the lotus. He is the firstborn of the Vishnu, and he was given the Upadesh of everything that is in the Vedas. So he is the rightful authority who can keep the Vedas with him. So he was given it back by Matsya Rupi Paramatma. So the forms of Paramatma also tell us that the method of accessing things or how we should actually read the Veda. So Matsyarupi Paramatma is the form of that Matsya itself is that it always has its eyes open. Kannu Muchade Bennu Toruvi is one of the songs composed by one Vyasa Vithala Dasaru about the Matsya, about Dashavatara. In that Matsya is told as Kannu Muchade. So Kannu Muchade means he's always keeping his eyes open, which is the fish. Fishes don't close their eyes when they're swimming in the water. So what we have to do if we want the Vedas, we need to keep our eyes open. Keeping our eyes open means to keep focus on what we want to study. So if we do that, then Matsya will bring the Veda to us. He will bring the knowledge to us because it's always being taken away by the Dushta Shaktis from the grasp of the good people. So, but Paramatma, as Matsyarupi Paramatma, he has done this and he will do it in all time to come. Such Narayana, because he is capable. Narayana means full of auspicious attributes. So in the any form, he has all these attributes, and at any time he can use the attributes and he can just by his will he can get everything done for the jiva. Let us surrender to such Narayana is what is one of the udgaras or uh, one of the chorus that we have to sing all together. Narayanaya namo Narayana, Narayanaya namo Narayana, Narayanaya namo Narayana. Let us offer this because everything has to be offered to Paramatma. He is the main and independent entity. Narayana iti samarpayami is what the Bhagavatam says. Kaye navacha manasendrerva buddhyatmana va anusuta svabhavat karomi adyat sakalam parasmai narayana iti samarpayami. Hare Srinivasa.